David Arquette, WCW champion. You're listening to the Potsy and Tino show.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots and Pans Network brings you its tag team champions of the world, the Road Dogg Tino Gray, the badass Rob Potsy Potchak, the Potsy and Tino Show. That's right. Our theme song, as always, is brought to you by Adam's House Cats, called The Wrestling Song. It's available on iTunes for the low, low price of 99 Jones.
99. I swear that bitch was drunk or high.
Actually, I think he's sober now. I think that's why he actually seems that way. We want to thank David Arquette for that nice little intro into the show tonight. As always, him and everybody else that have ever done one for us, we truly appreciate it. Tino, we always start the show here on the Pots and Pans Network with what's up with you?
Everything's a blur.
What did you say?
Everything's a blur. I'm trying to figure out what this weekend we didn't do too much of anything. Yeah, well, I think Saturday we chilled, and Sunday I didn't get out of my bed till probably 3 or 4 o'clock. I laid in the bed and watched movies. I was tired, dude. I was tired. And so yeah, I watched Smile, the first one, because I want to watch the second one. Then I watched another movie called uh Mr. Something, and it was supposed to be a horror movie. It was pretty it was corny. But that's all I did. And then I watched what was it? Collision. But I pretty much just stayed in my pajamas all damn day. On Sunday, because I knew today it was going to be a day. I was in the office. They opened at 8. I was in the parking lot quarter till waiting for them to have them go in. And I had reports I had to do. I started doing those reports this morning. And as I told you, when I called you probably about 10 till, I'm like, hey, I'm not doing my class tonight because I just finished all the reports I've been working on all day. So we can, hey, let's kick this thing off early. Maybe I can get off here early, get some sleep. But other than that, we're getting stuff ready this coming weekend. We're having kind of like a friendsgiving here in the neighborhood because one of our neighbors, his wife passed away about 2 or 3 years ago, and he's feeling it. So we're just gonna get together. All the neighbors are gonna get to his house, and he's got like a big ass garage, and we're just gonna have like Thanksgiving just to try to tear him up.
We've done it in my sister's garage many a year because of how many people we end up having over there for Thanksgiving. And this year's going to be no different. If the weather's good, we'll be down at the lake. If the weather's bad, we'll be in the garage. Like maybe in the house. But we're talking 16 to 20 people going to be at the thing. So yeah.
So they'll do that next Sunday, and then I work Monday. And then Tuesday, we leave to drive down to Florida because we're going to Haley's for Thanksgiving. So we leave Tuesday when Nicole gets off. We'll stop probably halfway, spend the night, get up Wednesday and finish the drive. So we'll get to Haley Wednesday and stay probably till either Saturday or Sunday. Hadn't decided yet.
So good. I guess the question there is we are going to have a show then next week because you'll be leaving Tuesday.
We're leaving Tuesday, so we should have a show next week. Yeah,
and then you're coming back what, Sunday?
Probably late Sunday. So we'll see about Monday. How that?
I'm a little disappointed, man. I thought we were going to go to WrestleCade, but like going down to Winston-Salem or going down to Florida. I understand it. But...
Yeah, Haley's all excited because she's not going to come for Thanksgiving, but she'll be here for Christmas, and she really wants us to come down there so she can cook and do all that fun stuff. So she wants us to come down for Thanksgiving. So we'll go down. We'll drive down.
What's up, Michael Turner?
And then that's why then we'll come back Sunday, and then Monday we might have a show. And then that following weekend I'm back in Hickory again. So I'll be a lot of traveling here within the next 2 weeks or so.
Yeah, I should have tried to get you like the opening gig for Fear State at the night that I'm doing my signing out in Fayetteville.
When is it?
It's December 14th. to Saturday. We're doing a signing at the shop at 11:30.
Well, then
And then
you just answered my question. That's when we're doing our Christmas party.
oh yeah. I'm in Fayetteville all day, all night, coming back Sunday. They got me a hotel room and everything for it to make sure that
Nice.
both signings. Yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty big deal. Like it might be the biggest signing I do, Tino. Like
Why's that?
so because I'm doing one at the shop and I have to be there at like 11:30 a.m. on Saturday for that signing. And then like I'm gonna check into the hotel room and then I'm gonna go to I think it's at the White Rabbit, but they're
Oh,
doing
that's right.
they're doing a signing with the band
I
and
remember.
the two artists and me for the cover. So it's going to be a pretty massive signing, and apparently they're bringing 50 copies of the book to actually sell, like with being able to get autographed by everybody at the band party. So I'm pretty excited, and then obviously get to go see the concert afterwards.
That's awesome because didn't that I think you were talking about that last week. Didn't you say the covers were the rabbit killing different members of the band on each cover? So that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, so
And
this obviously this is going to be the first week that the first book is out. So I posted it on Blue Sky today actually. I posted the cover. It's the Easter Bunny looking down from above, and he's killed Bernie, who is the guitarist of the band. He's also the shop owner. So he gets cover number one. Then the two young kids that they got in the band, like they've got the drummer and one of the guitarists are like 17 years old, and both of them are we call it getting frozen in chocolatite on
are
the
we
second
allowed to
cover.
are we allowed to show it? Because I just found it on your Blue Sky.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Let's see if I can get it. Can you see it?
Yeah.
That is awesome. Sorry. That is awesome.
If you angle it a little bit more, you might get a little bit more the other way, the other direction. There you go.
There we go. That is awesome.
And you notice that the poster like on the wall is actually like the band poster.
Oh shit, it is.
Yeah, so they put that in there, and then on the back cover, it actually has the Fear State logo and the Dragon's Lair comic shop logo. So it's a dual exclusive cover. So all of the band members will be signing it that night at the concert, and then I'll be signing it with the two artists both there and because I guess we're signing them from 8 to 8:45 that night, and then like I said, we'll be signing copies of the book all day long at the shop too.
I like this. Says Die Hard isn't a Christmas comic. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I still have to do the dialoguing for issues 2 and 3, but that's coming this week because I planned out my week so that I can do it.
Michael Turner likes to cover.
Yeah, Michael, if you're able to get out to Fayetteville, come on out. Like I said, we're gonna be watching we're gonna be at the concert and everything else. So, but I'll be at the shop, from like 11:30 to like 3 or 4. So,
What time's the show? What time today's show was?
so we're doing the signing before they go on from 8 to 8:45.
So you'll have a 5 hour window for you have to go. So you just be hanging out in the hotel. What are you gonna do between the time you
I'll be
finish?
taking a nap because it's an hour and a half drive to Fayetteville. Then I'm gonna do the signing. Then I'll want something to eat, and then I want a nap, and then
Yeah.
and then hopefully one of the guys is willing to pick me up, so I don't have to Uber to the show and Uber back to the hotel room. But like either way, like it's gonna be a good time. I'm pretty excited about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that one. Issues 2 and issue 3. So I got to see the print files this week for issue 1. So like it is going through the print process right now. One thing that I am a little disappointed in that I missed when I first saw the print files was that our disclaimer that says that it's not for kids did not make it onto the cover.
Oh no.
So I have to make sure. Well, all the covers look violent, so it's it's like they should know better anyway. But like there are two of the covers that don't have blood on them, so I am making sure that when I talk about it or anything else, that I do say that did not make it onto the print files, and we will make sure that it's on issues 2 and issue 3, because issue 2 gets violent, and then issue 3 is fucking insane, Tino. So Jay Hammond, the artist of it, I pretty much gave carte blanche to. I don't know if I told you. Like I wrote it the same way that I wrote Zor, which was I gave him a plot of like what was going on in the book, and then I said, "Hey, when you're doing a murder scene of one of the bad guys, just have fun with it, right?" So all of a sudden he took that, and then he went here, then he went here, then he was off the screen. It is
carte blanche.
It is well, and what's funny is people are going to think that it was all me, and I want them to know that, like, in fact, for really the first time besides Zor, because Zor was actually Michael's idea that he came to me with, but for the first time since Zor, this is the first book that like I'm sharing ownership on.
Mm-hmm.
So and as Jay Hammond took more and more liberties with the book, it kind of seemed like I had to do that. So one night in a drunken stupor, I told him I was giving him 25% of the property, so that way if it becomes a movie or anything else, he's involved with everything. And then he was like, "Do we have to renegotiate? Do we have to rewrite the contract?" And I said, "No, you've got it in writing on like Instagram. We're fine."
On Instagram.
I mean, he has a screen capture of me saying, "Hey, we're co-owning this one." Now I own 75% of it, he owns 25% of it, but like still, like that wasn't something that was originally in our negotiated contract. But I told him with everything that he'd been doing with it that I wanted him to have more, like to feel like this is more totally us rather than me hiring him to do it, and he's really jumped on board with that. So I've been really happy with like the way the book looks, everything else. But I mean, like issue 3, like I keep saying this book isn't for kids. It's really not, man. Like there's some crazy animated looking violence in this third issue, and it's awesome. But it's also going to be something where when I'm sitting there trying to think, what is he thinking in his mind as he's doing these things? It's going to be really interesting to see how the dialogue goes.
Gotcha.
So,
Michael Turner said, "What time does your Raleigh show start?"
So good question, Michael. I believe I will be there. So that is going to be December 11th, which is a Wednesday. That is actual comic book launch day. December 11th at Fight or Flight Comics in Triangle Town Center Mall. My plan is to start the signing at 11, but I haven't worked out all the details with Daniel yet. But I would. What's up?
11 a.m. Right? I'm just
yes,
making
11
sure.
a.m. 11 a.m. And I have trivia that night in Cary, so I've gotta be done by a certain time so I can actually get the Cary from Capitol Boulevard. So probably 11 to 4, 11 to 5. But you know me, I like if I say I'm going to be there from 11 to 3, I'm normally there until 11, till 4, just because I'm still hanging out, I'm still buying my comics, I'm still doing all that stuff. But I want to make sure that they get a really good signing out at that shop too. The thing about that one is that, it's a week and a half before Christmas. So it's going to be, or 2 weeks before Christmas, because it literally is 2 weeks before Christmas at that point. So I expect it to be busy in the mall already. So the comic signing might be really, really busy. And I'm excited about that because it's Die Hard is not a Christmas comic. It's an Easter comic. But but part of the joke is obviously Die Hard being a Christmas movie. So
It's not.
you're right. It's a holiday movie.
It takes place at Christmas. I give you that. It takes place during Christmas, but it's not a Christmas movie. I've had this for years. Me and friends have gone, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not.
We
You're
can
right. It takes place at
we
Christmas.
can fight on this one because the truth is, if you go back and you actually watch the original trailer for the movie,
Okay.
it says this Christmas, blah blah blah, and it's basically saying it's a Christmas movie. Like it's like, and that's why he says ho ho ho. Now I have a machine gun. Like it is a Christmas movie, and I can even make you think that it's a Hallmark movie, Tino,
Oh,
because
Jesus.
because I have, like, every year. There was a year about 4 or 5 years ago that I wrote out like the entire plot of Die Hard about a guy trying to come back and get back with his wife and has to fly to another state and all this other stuff. And then when I finally finish it, it says, and you know what that movie was? It was Die Hard. And I'm sure it's going to come up on my feed here in a couple days
You guys send it
because
to me. I don't remember that one.
but I broke it down like a full Hallmark movie, and it's like wow, that like that plot right there is something that you would see as like a Hallmark or maybe even a Lifetime
I
holiday
don't
movie.
think all the violence and the shooting and all that shit.
I didn't put any of that stuff in in the situation. But
Okay.
my trivia games recently, I've done this round in the trivia games that it's all been uh it's been movies described badly, and you have to tell me what the movie is from
Right.
it. So for one of them I wrote, man shows up to the holiday party without shoes and causes a scene. And that's Die Hard.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
wouldn't believe how many people got that one wrong.
What?
Yeah.
Even
Man
I knew
shows
that
up the
one.
holiday party without shoes and causes a scene. Die Hard. That's like, it's great. Um by the way, I love doing that round of trivia. There's been some really good ones. And I won't go into them now because I might actually give away some from my trivia game this week. But Tino, I wanted to switch up our way of going about some stuff here this week, because I know that, like, we have our audience that listens to us talk about being 40 and 50-year-old men, and then we have the wrestling fans, and I know that Michael Turner and Chris Barrett are both. So I don't want to discredit them for being here with us. But if anybody else is here with us, every week since it started, we've been talking about Superman and Lois. So I wanted to go ahead and get your opinion on
Jordan's a
episode.
bitch.
He
Been
really,
my running. That's been my running thing. Jordan's a bitch.
yeah. You're like if Sketchy LeJoe were to make us T-shirts this year, instead of "Where the fuck did Joe come from," it would be "Jordan's a
Jordan's
bitch."
a bitch. And Sketchy, if you're watching, I want my Jordan's a bitch shirt.
Yes. And the Jordans, where it's Jordans, the S has to be the Superman symbol.
Yes. And like,
So okay, I guess it was episode 8. So 8 of 10. So there's only 2 more episodes to go tonight and next week.
so this is the one where he's trying to prove to people he's not Superman,
Go ahead and
right?
give your opinion of it.
I thought it was actually. I don't remember in comic books if he ever like admitted he was Superman like that. You know what I mean? So I don't. It was just weird to me because I was like, okay, so the part where everybody's in town is saying they're thinking he might be, or they're saying, yeah, you're Superman. He's saying, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. And then it's Jonathan's girlfriend's dad, who was the alcoholic who was beating her, came back and said, "So a little birdie told me, you know,
Well, now
that
now
you're
you're
Superman."
even you're jumping all the way to the end of the episode.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So I don't remember a whole lot. That's the part that got to me.
So as the comic book guy, I'll go ahead and I'll fill you in. Yes, there's been at least once where
Really?
Clark Kent came out And yeah, it's one of my least favorite times in Superman history because it's also written by one of my least favorite comic book writers out there. He's blocked me on some social medias.
What you
Um,
do?
so I'll tell you. By the way, his name is Brian Michael Bendis. He's known for being the guy that created Miles Morales. He was the guy that started Ultimate Spider-Man when Marvel decided they wanted to retrofit the 2000s. They wanted Peter Parker to actually feel like he felt like he was from this era rather than being a 60s kid that's still a 30 something year old guy. So they wanted to make him a 16-year-old kid, and they went 200 and something issues where Bendis basically just, the whole idea of the Ultimate Comics universe was to get rid of the convoluted continuity in Marvel Comics and start fresh. And by 200 issues into Ultimate Spider-Man, he had completely convoluted all of the continuity again because he's not a great writer. Sorry. He's just one that they pay a lot of money for. But he was the guy that created Miles Morales, right? Who we can go on a big tangent here. I will say that Miles Morales finally became relevant as a comic book character with the Into the Spider-Verse movies.
Excuse me.
They actually gave him meaning, they gave him purpose, they gave him everything in those movies, and that wasn't anything that he had anything to do with. But he left Marvel Comics and went to DC Comics, and immediately was put on Superman. And he started with a 6-issue series, and you wanted to know why he blocked me, so I'm going to tell you. The first 3 issues of that comic book series that he started with the Superman was called Man of Steel, and the first 3 issues are the only 3 issues I read of it, and nothing happened. It was pointless. There was one big page in each of those first 3 issues that actually moved the story along. It was like the same story being told from different perspectives. And there was one page in it that they would actually give a little bit of information.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But about 15 issues into his run on Superman, sales were down. Book's not doing as well as it was when he started. And they're hiring the best artists in the industry to draw his comics for him. Because they're like, this is a big event. We get him on here. We have to have the big artists on here too. So when the comic books aren't selling, that typically means either the art isn't good or the story's not good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we know the art is good because you've got the best artists in the industry actually working on the book with them, what do we have to make the proper assumption of there?
The story's not good.
So out of nowhere, DC Comics decides Superman's going to tell his identity to the world. And he does it in almost a similar fashion where he goes on, he basically has a news conference and he takes the glasses off as Clark Kent, opens up the shirt, and suddenly that Clark Kent's Superman.
He did it in the restaurant first, in the show.
Well, I know.
Okay.
And we'll get to the actual show part in a second.
Okay.
But so it has happened in the comic. And of course, the biggest problem you have with that kind of story is, how do you put the genie back in the bottle? And DC had a good writer come in and actually put the genie back in the bottle.
How? Just out of curiosity, I didn't read it.
So basically, Lex Luthor hired a telepath who is powerful enough to actually, like Professor X almost, obviously in DC's universe, and was a villain that he had to do it. But he basically had him sit there and wipe everybody's mind of the knowledge that Clark Kent was Superman.
Okay, so.
And while he did that, it was like, if anybody started to remember that it was Superman, and his immediate family was allowed to know, and Lex Luthor was allowed to know. And that was like it. Okay? Everybody else that even starts trying to put it together that Superman is Clark Kent, their nose starts to bleed, and then they have a stroke.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So Perry White right now, the guy from the Daily Planet, is in the hospital and has been since they started the new comics because he started to go, Clark Kent is
Oh shit. They
yeah.
just kill motherfuckers. Like you don't. Nope. You're
Well,
dead.
they didn't kill him, and he could recover, but yeah, that's kind of what they did with it, and it was like, oh shit, right? And then of course Lex Luthor on that, like from Superman the movie, sits there and tells him, he's like, oh, just so you know, if anybody else starts to put it together besides your immediate family, same thing's going to happen to them. So it basically puts them at a very odd standstill in their relationship. And in fact, the way the comics went, Lex Luthor finally decided, you know what? I'm going to take LexCorp and turn it into SuperCorp, and I'm going to put Superman in charge of the company, and Superman is going to have to like help the world with everybody knowing that I'm the one financing and helping the world.
That's fucked up.
But it's awesome too, but see, again, very good writer comes up with something really cool.
So back to how you got blocked.
No, so how I got blocked quite simply was I sat there and sent, I don't know, 1 or 2, maybe 5 tweets that said
Too many 5.
And Michael Turner, I think, has heard this story because I think he was at a signing that I did where I talked about it. And I was like, all I said was, I demand my money back because nothing happened in the first 3 issues of the comic. I want my $15. Like, I feel like I'm justified to ask for my $15 because nothing happened in this fucking comic book. Like, why am I spending $5 on this book and nothing happens?
That's fair. I said yes, I have. LOL.
Yeah, Michael was there when I told that story, but I got blocked by him because of it, and I was like, oh, so not only am I not going to get my $15 back, but now I can't even sit there and have a dialogue with you about the fact that nothing happened in your fucking comic. Is what it is. I digress. So yes, that's why I got blocked.
That is wow.
And like Michael Turner just said, I want my $2. Exactly.
I want my $2.
Exactly. So what other TV shows are you watching right now, Tino?
Oh, but no, I was like, so I was surprised that when he stood up.
Yeah. We didn't even.
Yeah, so you were gonna. I remember the ending part, the leading up to it was
So
kind of.
you're right. The rest of the episode, he's trying to put the genie back in the bottle. Like he sees the football coach and he sits there and like makes it look like he sprains his elbow when he's trying to open or close the door for him. He's like, oh, and of course.
Then, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and of course he runs off to go get him ice, and like just dumb shit like that. But
they went to the kid's house to try to, and that didn't work.
But what I loved about it was it told a completely different story of Clark Kent's relationship with Jimmy Olsen.
Yes.
And I thought that was phenomenal because we hadn't seen Jimmy in the entire season, and now we kind of know why.
Didn't know Jimmy had a sister.
I think that, well, so talking to my buddy Jeremy, who is the other person I talked to the show about with, because he asked the same thing. He said, I don't remember them ever telling a story of Superman actually coming out with his identity. And I said, no, they definitely did. I remember DC doing a big thing about it. It was probably like 2018, blah, blah, blah. Told him the whole same thing. And he goes, oh, it's Bendis. No wonder it sucked. And I was like, yeah, well, like whatever. But I do think Jimmy has had a twin sister. I don't know, but I did find it really interesting that, like they decided not to make Jimmy the hot black guy in this version of Superman, because on Supergirl, like Supergirl had a thing with Jimmy Olsen because he was that super hot, like 6'5" dude. Now, I did notice that they did decide to go with a gargantuan Jimmy Olsen, though, because dude is like 6'7", because Tyler Hoechlin is like 6'3", and he towered over him. Like, he literally looked down at Superman. But I really like that. I also like the fact that for people that actually know who Tyler Hoechlin is, he was a minor league baseball player. So the fact that they added in that he could be the bunt guy.
I know him from Teen Wolf.
Right. But outside, like before Teen Wolf, he was.
I didn't know that.
Minor league baseball.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So them adding in that he could be the bunt guy, I thought was pretty funny there.
Got it.
But yes, and then at the end of the episode, Candace's father shows up, obviously paid off by Lex Luthor to sit there and pull out a gun in the diner after everybody's like, come on, man, we all went to high school with Clark. We know he's just Clark, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, the only thing I didn't like about this sequence was he opens up the shirt, and then instead of just having the shirt opened up, he's full Superman.
I guess he figured he's going to go for the gusto.
I just figured, like, how did he disappear, take all those clothes off, and then show back up wearing the full suit at that point?
Well, he's super speed.
Well, I know, but if it was super speed, he'd be able to sit there and just get out of the way.
Yeah, but I think that was the point of it. He's like, all right, they got me.
I'm just coming out now. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I agree. I just thought it was funny that, like they start with the whole, he opens up the shirt with the iconic opening of the shirt, and then suddenly he's just full costume, like cape and everything.
Yeah, because kind of he took,
like, how did he keep the cape underneath that shirt?
I don't understand. I've never understood that. But he is like tucked in very well. But yeah, because the whole thing, the bullet's coming. He split the bullet. He's able to look at everybody. He took the glasses off. The bullet's still coming. He opened the shirt. He went through the whole thing.
The other thing that I liked is if they had just gotten to that moment and left it right there, the show would have been fine. But what they did, because it's Superman and Lois with the kid,
I loved it.
They had to have the conversation about what they do next as a family.
Oh, okay. That's not that part too. I was talking about at the very end where he's like looking in the mirror and he's like debating on whether he was gonna go out with the glasses or not. And he put the glasses down and he walked into that diner and they were like, "Hey, Mr. Kent," or wherever he walked in, like, "Hey, Mr. Kent." I thought that was so cool. They weren't like, "Oh, Superman." They're like, "Oh, this fucking Clark."
Did you notice? So in this series, every time he's given his identity away, he's taken the glasses off and he's put them down on a counter. It's almost like symbolic that the glasses being on the counter is when people's eyes open up. Every time that
in the bathroom, yeah, I guess he put them on the sink on the counter. Yeah.
Every time he's put them on a counter. Or put them on a table, or put them on a desk, he's always like when he showed Sam Lane, he takes them off and he puts them down.
I never understood that even as a kid. Like you still know I don't look any different.
Well, hold on. I saw a meme just this week, and I've seen it before, but it always resonates when I see this. Zooey Deschanel, who was on New Girl,
it's hot.
When she's wearing the glasses, she's hot, but she's New Girl. But then they showed her without the glasses, and it's like, it's a completely different woman. And she's still hot, mind you.
You still know who she is.
Well, but they do look like two different people. So, one of them looks like Lily, the AT&T girl, who's played by Milana Weintraub, and then the other one looks like,
I think too it's the hair, because I think in the New Girl she had isn't the hair up or done differently than she.
Well, if you notice, so I don't know if you've seen any pictures from the new Superman movie that's coming out in July.
Mm-mm.
But David Cornsweet, who plays Superman in it,
Cornsweet,
when he's Superman, he's got this nice like coif with the spit curl and everything. When he's Clark, he's got like this like all the hairs like in his face and everything. So he's gonna look quite a bit different. And then of course, anytime you ever saw Christopher Reeve doing it, when he was Clark Kent, he always slouched. He always looked a little goofy. He always, like always had a weird look on his face with the glasses. But as soon as he was Superman, it was like stand up straight.
He still had the spit curl even as Clark did. I was like, dude, you can give yourself away.
I don't think did he have a spit curl? Or did he just have like a swoop?
I'm trying to remember. I think
it was all a swoop when he was Clark. But either way.
But Zoe Deschanel, I didn't recognize her in Elf because she was a blonde. I had to look at her. I'm like,
I didn't know she could sing.
Well, she's a singer. Like she's got a little band that she's in.
Yeah, well, she's one of my people that like I would do anything for. So yeah.
Other shows I haven't watched the new Irrational, but I watched both of the.
There wasn't one last week.
There was one I missed it because there's a new one I hadn't watched. It's on my watch list. There was two because there was two of the other show, two found, and there is an Irrational. You might have watched it. I didn't watch it.
Okay, because remember when I told you that my TiVo didn't record Superman or Raw? Well, the next night was the election, so there wasn't any of those shows that night.
Last week wasn't an election.
No, it was the week before. So maybe there was an Irrational last week, and I didn't see that yet.
Yeah. But found.
Can you believe that's by the same people that did the Arrow shows? Like
dude,
Superman and Lois and all that. Like it's the same producers.
Dude, that show.
And now you know that the brother's involved with everything. Like,
dude, man. Yeah.
How long can they go with it though? Because the whole season started with as soon as we figure out what's going on and we get her back, you're going to prison. And
yeah,
she's still not in prison. We're 8 episodes in.
I don't know. I don't think she's going.
I think they'll figure out a way that she doesn't have to go. But
this show, it's just I'm like, and I'm watching SWAT. I know you don't watch SWAT. That's a good one. I like SWAT.
I don't watch SWAT, but have you been watching Brilliant Minds?
No, that's so much to do, especially now. I had time. I barely had time.
Another one by the same guys, and it's got Zachary Quinto in it. That one, dude. Like it's an emotional roller coaster every episode.
Mm.
I don't know how they're gonna keep the heat that they have with each of these shows too, because Found. At some point, I'm gonna get bored with the whole like, are they gonna find them? Are they not gonna find? Like they gotta find them at some point, right?
Yeah, but it right now, dude. You're like
how they've done it. I've been invested the entire way. So I just watched the first episode of a show on Amazon, Tino. That
Nicole wants to watch that one too. She's very, Nicole's a reader, and that's one of hers. She
Alex
likes
Cross?
that character. Yeah, she likes that character. So we were watching something, and she goes, "Ooh!" So I know we're gonna be watching that soon.
Well, not only that, but it's Aldous Hodge playing him now.
Wasn't the same guy?
What's that? No.
Tyler
Perry played him before.
Yes, right. That's right.
Yeah, Tyler Perry wanted to.
And before that, it was Denzel, because Denzel did a couple movies as Alex Cross.
Bone Collector and stuff like that. Yeah. But Aldous Hodge just, he was on a show with Kevin Bacon on Showtime that was really good. That didn't, I think it was called The City, something like that. But that one didn't get picked up for another season. And he was also on Leverage, and he was also in the Black Adam movie with The Rock. So I mean, like he's riding pretty high right now. And I watched the first episode, and I'm only 1 episode in it. But I'll tell you, like all 8 episodes are on Prime right now, and I'm like, all right, that's what I'm watching next.
I think Nicole and I are gonna watch that. And I was speaking of Kevin Bacon. Remember I told you I was watching that movie, the original Smile, and I kept looking at this chick, and it is Susie Bacon. I'm like, and it's Susie. I'm like, Bacon, really? It is Kira Sedgwick and Kevin Bacon's daughter. It's the lead in the original Smile.
Interestingly enough, Smile 2 also has a legacy actor in it because Jack Nicholson's son is the boyfriend to the main chick in the second one.
Ah, sweet.
And when you see him with the smile on his face,
He was like, "Here's Johnny." That he
it's
was like his
Jack
dad.
Nicholson's smile. And the craziest part about it was like so he did like a People magazine interview, and he was talking about his mom, and his mom goes, "You used to be such a pretty baby till you started looking like your father."
Jack Nicholson's an ugly son of a bitch.
Hey, you know what though? I would love his career.
Yeah,
My favorite actor of all time, man. Unfortunately, we probably won't ever
Nicholson.
see him in anything else.
Nicholson's your favorite actor of all time?
Oh yeah,
Oh wow, I didn't know that. Cool. I don't know who
dude.
mine.
Dude, Jack Nicholson had the greatest line ever when he won the when he won the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Academy, and he sits there and he goes, I was sitting backstage talking to Robin Williams, and Robin looked at me and he goes, Jack, did anybody ever win the award twice?
I think
And by the way, after Jack Nicholson won that AFI Lifetime Achievement Award, he won another Oscar.
dude, favorite actor. I think up there, definitely in my top five. The top two would have to be De Niro and Pesci.
Wow.
Yeah, because
So
Pesci is so. It would be De Niro. See, I got a lot. I like DeVito. I got a lot of actors I like.
you
But
know,
I can't think because he's good too. I can't think of damn a favorite actor. My favorite movie of all time is Ferris Bueller's Day Off and
that's
and,
interesting.
and Friday. That Friday and Ferris Bueller are tied.
My favorite movie of all time is Tombstone.
Yeah, I know you told me that.
And I watch that movie, I don't know. It feels like I watch it like 5 times a year now. And every time, like if it's on anything, I don't care where it is in the movie, I'll sit there and watch it and I'll be like, I could just put it on, but instead I'm gonna watch it with commercials. Like
Oh damn!
uh but I can
Favorite
quote
favorite
almost
favorite
every
Christmas
line
movie.
in that movie.
Favorite Christmas movie. Don't say Die Hard.
No, my favorite Christmas movie's probably been A Christmas Story.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yes, mine too.
I even like A Christmas Story Christmas, the second one that they
Yeah.
actually did. Because what I really liked about that one is it's cyclical. So you can watch the first one, then watch that second one, and then watch the first one again because he's telling the story at the end of the movie about that Christmas with his dad.
Yeah.
So I really like that one. I also like 8-Bit Christmas, the one where Neil Patrick Harris tells the story to his daughter about how he got a Nintendo. Because that
Other
one actually feels like my childhood, like when no one could afford the Nintendo, so you'd go to the house with the one kid that had one.
yeah. Next favorite would have to be National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Absolutely. I mean, like for me, it's the Christmas movies.
CBS has started all those now.
Well, those two are my Christmas movies, but I will admit, because now I've written Die Hard, that I really do like Violent Night. The
Oh
one with
yeah.
Barber. That one's excellent. And it's excellent because yes, it's a Christmas movie. Yes, it's an action movie. Yes, it's violent. Like it hits on all, and it has Beverly D'Angelo in it. So
Cool.
it even touches upon the whole National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation feel.
Nicole's is Elf.
Elf's a good one. Written and directed by
Rob Reiner. Ain't it Rob Reiner?
it might have been directed by Rob Reiner, but it was written by Harold Ramis.
Ah,
Harold Ramis was the doctor in it though. I do know
yes.
that. I do remember that. But I thought he either wrote or directed it too. He might have.
So yeah, so I'm excited. I love Christmas, as you can see. It start and what starts it for me, and I'm probably going to break them out here, probably right after Thanksgiving. Is the claymations, the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the Frosty the Snowman, the Heat Miser, and all that. I love those.
Well, don't forget. Don't forget about Charlie Brown Christmas.
I love Charlie Brown Christmas.
Like all of those are excellent. I don't even know who has the rights to them anymore because I know Apple got the rights to the to a couple of those for a while.
The Charlie Brown or the claymation ones?
I think the Charlie Brown one is Apple right now. Oh, you know which one was actually really so obviously like a Muppets Christmas Carol. I always like that.
Nicole loves that. She's a Muppets fan.
I love a Muppets Christmas Carol. I really liked the Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds one that's on Apple, where it basically was like Scrooged, except it wasn't Scrooged.
Yeah.
I can't remember what that one's called, but I really enjoyed it, and it's like a musical, and the two of them are singing in it, which is kind of crazy.
That out. That's cool.
I like that one. I like Scrooged, and Scrooged is terrible.
Bill Murray's the Scrooge,
Yeah.
that one. Yeah.
That one's terrible, and yet I love it. Because that one was like, hey, we're gonna take the Ebenezer Scrooge story, and we're just gonna make it dirty. And one thing that I got to see, Tino, that not a lot of people did is back in like the late '90s, at like the Durham Theater, they actually had a one-man showing of Patrick Stewart doing the entire Christmas Carol by himself.
Oh shit!
And I was there, and I got to watch that. So
he was Ebenezer. He was all the ghosts. He
was everything. Yeah. So yeah. It's funny because my birthday is 3 days before Christmas. I've got a lot of things that have happened in my life around Christmas that do not make me necessarily like Christmas. But when it comes to Christmas movies, I watch a lot of them. I will say this right now, though. I am not like my brother-in-law, Shane, where I watch a lot of the Hallmark Christmas movies because I just can't. And watching my brother-in-law cry like a little girl as he watches these love stories. I just want to slap him. I just want to slap him. And then I go, we need to watch Violent Night after this. So all right. I think we've talked about that long enough. We've been on here for almost 50 minutes talking about Christmas movies.
Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome. Makes me happy.
Yeah. So all right. I think it's time to jump into the other world that we talk about. Oh, but before we do that,
yep.
Let's jump right into this, Tino. You wanted to talk about this, the Netflix issues during the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight, and I'm not talking about Mike Tyson walking around wearing that weird "let me show my ass" thing that he did after he kissed that dude and said "I love you," and then he walks away and he's just showing his ass. Like the rest of the issues that Netflix had during this whole broadcast. What were your feelings?
I was just saying that if they're doing that now, I said they better have that shit fixed by the time January comes around and Raw's on the air. And so
you and I talked about this a little bit, and obviously this does tap into the wrestling world a little bit. The whole idea that Netflix experienced issues with this. I'm thinking it's because now worldwide Netflix has like 200 million subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
That fight probably had between 50 and 80 million of those subscribers trying to log in and watch it at the same time, which is going to cause issues, right?
I think, yeah, and I think too they're trying to get the 'cause I know on Christmas Day they're doing NFL games, so I think they're trying to do it all. They're trying to be a sports channel too now. That's what it sounds like.
Well, yes and no. The problem they run into, so here's the good news for the WWE fans. Are you ready?
Mm.
WWE broadcasts their own shit. All they need is someone from Netflix to flip the switch and turn it on. So, production wise, nothing changes except what they want to change because they want a different broadcast style, right? So WWE is going to be able to sit there and go, "Hey, as long as you give us the bandwidth to get this out there, nobody's going to have any issues with our program. Flip the switch, we're good to go." WWE handles everything in house. That's what's great about them. That's why Netflix wanted them, because when you're the NFL and you say, "Hey, we want NFL broadcasting," you have to put on that broadcast. So you have to have all the cameras there from Netflix. You have to have all of the bandwidth going. You have to have all of the producers, everything else. WWE
Mm.
does all that themselves. TNA or AEW does that all themselves now too. But WWE was really the first in-house production crew doing all that. That's why they got the revenue streaming deals that they did for a while, which was, like making sure that they ended up getting a bunch of the advertising revenue would come to WWE instead of going to the brand actually like broadcasting them, because they were
Right.
actually filming all of it and doing all of it themselves. So they kind of got like 50-50 on ad revenue too. So Netflix wanted that because Netflix is like, well, when we make a movie or whatever, we have to pay for all that to be done. So that's why, like, when they brought in Suits, the TV show, it was an already fully broadcast show for 9 seasons. They were able to just sit there and say, "We're buying up that video package, and that way we can just dump it on the network and boom." That's why they have issues when people are like, "Oh, Heels should come back for a season 3." Well, Stars created all that. They built
Mhm.
it, they filmed it, they did all that. Now, if Netflix does it, they incur all the costs, not just
Gotcha.
the licensing fee. The WWE stuff, they did it, a $5 billion licensing fee for WWE broadcasting worldwide for Monday Night Raw. And all of the other stuff that's not, like on the network or in the US. So that's why like all of that is so crazy. When it comes to this Netflix doing the Tyson Jake Paul fight, they had to do it all. So they had their own producers. They had it's interesting to me that they didn't outsource to someone like TKO, who could have handled it because they do the
Mm.
UFC and WWE broadcasts. So they could have done all of that,
Oh
but
yeah.
they didn't, like, and you're going to tell me that the WWE wouldn't have said, "Yeah, we'll do it,"
Yeah, they'd have done it.
especially since they could have started advertising WWE programming on the fight if they
Yeah.
did. Yeah, they would have totally done it. But story going out there is that TKO representatives definitely went to Netflix after seeing all the buffering issues and said, January 6th, we're on TV. And Netflix said, "Don't worry about it. We got it all worked out." And what I told you, Tino, what did I tell you? Like before we went on the air.
We don't have. They're not going to have as many people watching Raw as they had trying to watch that fight.
And it's true. They're not. That fight could very well be the most broadcast fight of all time. I don't think it will be because when only 3 TV channels could broadcast something, This is why MASH, the series finale of MASH, is still the #1 rated TV show ever, is because there were only like 3 networks at that point. You know what I mean? So 100 million people watched that episode of MASH because they couldn't watch anything else. You're gonna watch the news, or you're gonna watch MASH? I'm gonna watch MASH. Give me Klinger, you know.
Stupid.
But you get what I mean. So, and that's why they've changed the wording around to say that the Netflix Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight could be the most watched. What did they say? Most watched streaming fight of all time, which it very well could. I don't know. Like, obviously, Netflix will tout numbers when they want to. I also heard that Mike Tyson's pay on the entire fight was based on whether or not he could go the distance, because Mike Tyson had never gone 8 rounds in a fight before.
Let's see. I thought he had to go more than 1 round, because the first 2 rounds, excuse me, he came out like old Tyson, and it seems like he pulled back, because he could have knocked him out. Don't get it twisted. He could have knocked him out first round, but I think he was trying to make it last.
So before the fight,
as it went on, I think he got blowed up. But if he'd have done it in the first 2 rounds,
before the fight started, I had actually heard people, and I had a conversation with someone where he said, specifically, someone said his feet don't look like he's going to be able to continue to stand on his own 2 feet if he's throwing the punches that he's trying to throw.
Yeah, his legs look terrible.
And he did. So ideally, I think Mike basically dropped back, and even Jake Paul, like as the fight went on, it became more and more of a scrimmage after the first 2 rounds.
I found it interesting at the end of the fight where the guy asked Jake Paul flat out, "Were you trying to knock out Tyson?" He never would say yeah or no, because he's got that right like his brother. He could have knocked Mike out.
He came out the next day and said, "No, I felt like it would have been a disservice to Netflix to try to knock him out." And I don't know if he would have been able to knock Mike out, but we'll never know. And truth be
Tyson
told,
could have knocked him out.
Tyson had Tyson will always be able to knock somebody out. Like, that is a fact. We've seen it happen. The other side of it, though, is that Jake Paul, to me, doesn't look any better as a fighter after this fight, and here's why. It was a lose-lose battle for him, and it was going to be. He made $40 million, which is great for him. Tyson made $20 million, which is great for him.
He paid $1 million for those trunks. Dumbass. Did you hear that? He paid $1 million for those trunks.
Did he pay for Tyson's trunks?
No. Jake Paul, the trunks he was wearing, he paid $1 million for them.
Oh, yeah. I heard they were the most expensive trunks ever made.
Yeah.
But I mean, his brother literally brought, a Pokemon card down around his neck at one of his fights. But either way, it was a lose-lose fight for Jake Paul if you're a boxing fan, because you either beat a 58-year-old man or you lose to a 58-year-old man. The only thing that justifies any of that to someone like me, Tino, and I'm going to put this in terms that you understand. How old is Kathy Ireland?
70 something? I don't know.
No, she's not. She's like 50 something. But regardless of that, if I were to sit there and say, "Hey, Tino, I had sex with Kathy Ireland last night," you're going to be like, "Yeah, but she's like a 58-year-old woman." And I'm going to be like, "Yeah, but I had sex with Kathy Ireland." That's literally the only because on my tombstone, when I die, it's going to say Rob had sex with Kathy Ireland. It's not going to say I had sex with Kathy Ireland when she was old. It's just going to say that I had sex with Kathy Ireland. Jake Paul now gets to say, I beat Mike Tyson. But Mike Tyson, this is why Mike Tyson had all those interviews where even with like the 13-year-old girl, he sits there and he goes, I don't care about legacy. Legacy isn't anything that matters to me. Because at this point, he's just trying to get back to even because of how much money Don King stole from him.
Yeah. Facts.
You know? Like, and I respect him more for saying it before the fight even happened. This isn't about legacy. If this was about legacy, I wouldn't have taken the fight. No shit. Like, duh.
Yeah. Kathy Ireland is 61. He looked
I
it
was
up.
close. I said 58. I was close. She still looks hot as shit. She follows me on Twitter. And she actually runs her own account. I want that to be known.
Some assistant follow that guy. Okay.
All right. So did that cover all the Netflix issues?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Dominite.
Kid
Dominite.
Dominite Jones.
So I want to point out that I don't think there was a single wrestling show, except maybe Dave Meltzer last week, that said that Dynamite was a good show.
Dave Meltzer said it was good.
No, I don't know, but nobody else said it was good. They, like, everything I heard last week talked about how bad of a show Dynamite was. Like, they were literally like, hey, for a while there, Dynamite looked like it was on the way up. And then all of a sudden, this show just felt like it was way too forced, way too fast. Things didn't see, like Tony Khan, like, go out there and go do something. Like, I don't know. Like, what were your feelings? Like, based on
what happened.
You don't even remember. That's right. You told me before the show started you didn't even remember what happened. So, all right, I'm going to go through some of the results real quick. You ready? The very first match was Jay White and Juice Robinson versus Hangman Page and Christian Cage. Why the fuck are Hangman Page and Christian Cage wrestling on the same, like, in the same team?
Don't know.
Hook showed up and took out Nick Wayne.
Yes.
During that match. But Christian Cage and Adam Page, it's a fucking tongue twister. Christian Cage and Adam Page defeated Juice Robinson and Jay White. Don't understand why that happened either. Lance Archer versus Roderick Strong. If Roderick Strong wins, he gets a match against MJF. Roderick Strong wins the match.
Because it ended up being, wasn't it like Falls Anywhere? Because I do remember the rest of the Kingdom coming out and helping him beat on Murder Hawk until he started whooping their asses.
Well, you know, even before this match, I'm sorry, Will Ospreay called out Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah.
But then the match happened, and it was Lance Archer and Brian Cage showed up to support Fletcher. So Will Hobbs and Mark Davis came out to help Ospreay.
Yes.
Which has nothing to do with Roderick Strong.
It's just an excuse to have Murder Hawk already out there. Lance Archer already out there.
So Roderick Strong ends up pinning Archer. So he gets the shot at MJF. The very next match is Takeshita versus Adam Cole, which if Adam Cole wins, it becomes a 3-way dance for the match against MJF.
Which what you said you thought it was going to be anyway. So that's why I thought that he was going to beat Takeshita. So I was surprised when that did happen.
I think this is supposedly to, like, add that mystique of is this going to be like causing turmoil between Roderick Strong and Adam Cole because now all of a sudden Adam Cole and Roderick Strong seem to have a little bit of a camaraderie again.
Because I was about to say, Kyle came out. He hugged and shook hands with Strong, but when Cole tried to shake his hand, he just looked at him and walked away. Which I can't remember why they had beef.
Well, it's because, I mean, because Kyle didn't like the fact that he was MJF's friend.
That was it.
Yeah. So now Cole's gonna have to watch as Roderick Strong takes on MJF
MJF.
at the pay-per-view. And I'm sitting here going, but on top of that, I'm also sitting here going, like I said to you last week, is Kyle Fletcher really or not Kyle Fletcher, Kyle O'Reilly in a better position than he was when he was in WWE?
No.
In fact, are any of those three in a better position right now?
Oh.
Like, Adam Cole is at least front and center, I guess.
Well, now that him and Britt broke up, he'll probably get thrown on the wayside.
Oof, maybe, or maybe she will. We don't know. Who does Tony Khan love more? That's the real question, I guess.
Probably Britt. I would say Britt. She's an original.
Well, considering the very next match is Britt Baker versus Penelope Ford. Britt Baker defeats her. Bleacher Report gave it a C+. Marina Shafir bullied the cameraman to get into the ring and film Mox.
Yeah.
So we had that whole thing start up. Swerve Strickland ended up beating Leo Rush. And then we got the main event, which was FTR versus House of Black, which, if your DVR doesn't record 30 minutes late on Dynamite...
Hold up. Because I remember correctly, they jumped Strickland, and the whole time Leo Rush was outside. And I thought Rush was going to come in and pick up the scraps.
Oh, you're talking about the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah, because he put the Hurt Lock on Swerve.
Well, did you notice they didn't call it the Hurt Lock?
Yeah, they didn't. They
just called it a full Nelson.
Yeah.
Which totally takes away from the heat of the move. I'm sorry. It totally takes away from it.
They'll probably come up with something in the near future. They have to.
They're probably trying to figure out whether or not they can say Hurt Lock.
Yeah.
Well,
because it's not the Hurt Hurt was it? They were the Hurt.
They were the Hurt Business. Now they're the Hurt Syndicate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder whether or not they can get away with Hurt Lock as the move.
The Cinder Lock. That's what you should call it.
Cinder Block. Ooh. Yeah.
Cinder Block. The Cinder Lock. Cinder Block. Yeah, I guess.
Cinder Block's okay.
So the next match, Aleister won. I keep calling him Aleister Black. He's not Aleister Black. He's Malachi Black.
Yeah, so a week after we were worried that he wasn't going to be with AEW anymore, Malachi Black and Brody King end up having a match against FTR. House of Black wins the match. Thanks FTR for re-signing your contracts. Being one of the best tag teams in the fucking world, but you know what? Hey, it's okay.
You lose. Michael Turner said they're going to call it the AEW lock. I like it.
I'm cool with it too. Bleacher Report actually gave the show a B.
What?
But I gotta be honest,
everybody hated it.
Tino, I gotta be honest with you. It was so... There was so much going on, and it was so fast, and it was so like chaotic that, especially the like jumping right from the Roderick Strong match to the Adam Cole match to the Kyle O'Reilly doesn't want to say hi to Adam Cole and he ducks out, like so much going on.
Yeah.
That I don't know how Bleacher Report gave it a B. Like, because nobody else seems to have liked it. Now, like I said, Dave Meltzer probably gave it 5.5 stars,
Well,
but
because it had
had
his boy on
Osprey. It had Osprey. It had Adam Cole. A little bit of MJF. So yeah, it probably is going to be pretty good from them. So yeah, your feelings on the show?
it. Not a B. Not a B. I'd probably give it
Like a C minus? C?
a C.
Okay. Okay.
A C.
So let's go
Yeah.
to NXT.
Oh shit. That's not what you told me to pull up. Okay.
Oh, you want to go to Raw? I'll go. I'll pull up Raw. Here we go. Raw.
Yeah, I
I-
got
I'll
Raw.
I'll go ahead and try to pull up the NXT stuff while you start talking about Monday Night Raw.
So the first thing, oh, the Gunther promo. So Gunther comes out to the ring, and he's talking. He's getting ready to start talking about Damian Priest. Damian's music hit and comes to the ring, and Priest just went off on him. Because I know what you're gonna say about me. I'm trash, and this promo was strong, and it made. I also like the worried Gunther, I guess I would put it. The not so sure kind of. Oh, he kind of backing away and kind of looking at Priest like that is all the stuff I was going to say to you, but you took it out of my mouth and you turned around on me. I don't know what else to say. I like when Ludwig when Kaiser came out to try to say you talk about the ring general, you talk about this man, and he's trying to and Gunther took him out, pretty much like shut up, and he said no. I'm like oh shit, they're about to break up. And then so he was like, "No, you don't let him get in your head, blah 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 blah." And he tried to jump Priest, and Priest knocked his ass out the ring. And Gunther was going to come up behind him, and Priest turned around, and Gunther quickly backstepped and almost fell.
So I'm going to stop you right there just for a minute because I want to ask your opinion on something. When they took Giovanni Vici away from Imperium because they thought they were going to build him on SmackDown,
Hmm.
and now he's disappeared completely from SmackDown. Should they have ever taken him away from Imperium?
He's just one of those. He's a Marty Jannetty. He can't make it on his own, dude. He needs that group. Unfortunately, like Kaiser, if they split, Kaiser could make it on his own. I see Kaiser being a intercontinental, like a mid card champion.
I almost want WWE to bring back the cruiserweight title
Ooh,
because Kaiser. I mean, you know who else disappeared recently? Fucking Ilya Dragunov.
he's hurt.
Oh, okay.
He's
But
hurt.
like those are guys that don't even have to be flippy flop
Hmm.
to be really good cruiserweights.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And I would have them bounce between the two shows. Maybe in all three shows.
I also like the fact that Priest was rocking the Bad Bunny T-shirt.
Yes.
That's that
Yes.
foreshadowing. You think?
Maybe. But like there are certain guys that don't have to wear their own gear. And when you look at Priest looks like the guy that would show up at a concert not wearing the concert shirt.
But I almost think
But yes, I could see
Kaiser.
Bad
You
Bunny
almost
coming
think
back.
it almost like Kaiser. Is going to have Gunther's back. I almost wonder if Priest is going to come back to. No, I mean Bad Bunny's going to come back to kind of counteract Kaiser.
Yeah, no, I mean, I almost think Bad Bunny would get a bigger spot though.
Probably.
Like I could see Damian Priest and Bad Bunny versus Gunther and Kaiser in a tag team match.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Yeah.
And that would be a big spot, especially if you don't want to waste the world title match ahead of time, like I could see that being something that extends the feud.
Yeah. Then we
Question
had
is,
damage.
question is, do they go to Puerto Rico?
I don't think they need to. Damage Control and Pure Fusion Collective. It was kind of cool because now Dakota Kai is back. I was almost wondering if they were going to turn on Dakota, and they didn't. I was surprised.
I wasn't surprised that they didn't turn on her because obviously she's the one that speaks English. And this isn't anything against what WWE is trying to do by having this great faction, but it's the thing I don't like about it is that we've been watching this feud since WrestleMania, and I'm bored with it. Like even with Dakota Kai showing back up, I'm bored
Which
with
I
it.
don't understand why they're doing that because bu- 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 EO is the number one contender. So why are we still, unless they're going to have Dakota and Kyrie going for the tag team championships? You know what I'm saying?
No, not necessarily. I mean, it could be something where that when they finally decide, okay, it's time to make the number one contender go up against the women's champion, that they're a full unit
Yeah.
behind her. Especially when you're talking it's against the Judgment Day.
Kofi and Pete Dunne. What'd you think of that match?
I mean, we got more of the Xavier Woods stuff.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Xavier Woods turning heel when Kofi's still being babyface? Because you know what? We talked about it last week of we've never really seen a tag team have a face and a heel in the same tag, but we are watching it right now.
I think too, they're saying, I keep reading, their 10-year anniversary, I think it's this month, and they're talking about
And
while
that's when
Big
they're
E
going to split,
or Big E can't wrestle, but he's going to come try to
fix it.
mediate. Yeah.
And if I were them and you wanted to split them up, because that's what it feels like they're doing, I would have Big E come out and I would have Xavier turn on him.
You can't do too much with him, so I wonder.
We don't know what he can, like. You know how WWE's production is.
Yeah.
They can suddenly just have someone down backstage with something like sprawled on top of them because they knocked over a whole thing. What did Michael Turner just write?
It's time for the New Day to turn. Oh, that one. Yeah, we're going to get to that. Yeah, we'll get to that because I agree.
Well, I what are
Um,
we agreeing on?
Go ahead, put it back up and read it.
All right. Michael Turner writes, the women's U.S. titles are all set up wrong. They have the wrong ladies in the match and former champs and single titles. Now, this is a SmackDown thing, right? Because
No, they're doing. Yes, yes. I'm waiting for,
nobody from Raw is included.
and I think they're going to try to. They're probably here soon. I'm sure they're going to come up with a women's intercontinental for Raw.
You and I talked about this last week. I kind of feel like the Intercontinental Women's title is going to be announced like going into Netflix.
Oh yeah, you did say that. That's right, and that makes sense.
Yeah,
Uh,
especially if you either crown it the first night or you don't really even announce it until the show starts. Because again, rumors are, and it's more than just rumors at this point. It looks like both SmackDown and Raw are going to move to 3 hours each.
like it.
Do you like it?
Gives people more. They it gives it a chance to breathe, and more people get time on the show.
I completely agree with that.
Then you got Bronson Reed calling out Seth Rollins, and that they start having pull apart brawls again. Um, Damian Priest against Ludwig Kaiser. Oh, sorry.
Sami Zayn goes up to talk to Seth Rollins about joining the Bloodline because he's family to Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins basically blows him off and throws it in his face that he will never team with him again, and it's just foolish that he would ever think that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's after this next match. But yeah, Damian Priest, Ludwig Kaiser. We knew what was going to go there. Um, after that match,
It's only 2 hour
Karrion
Raw, not much else.
Cross threatens the Miz. This was the most perfect shit that I've seen in a while. This is good shit. So Karrion Kross, um, so Miz is supposed to have been kidnapped by. He got kidnapped by the Wyatts. They let him
Oh,
loose.
he's dead.
He's dead. They turn him loose. He's in
that,
the
whole,
ring.
that whole video where he's like, how long ago was it? Oh, 30 minutes? Now he's dead.
Yeah. So Miz is backstage and he's like, "No, I don't want to mess with I don't want anything else to do with the Wyatts." And Karrion Kross like, "Where are they? Where are they?" He goes, "No, you better leave them alone too." He's like, "You know what? No, no, break his legs." And he told the two big guys to break his legs, and they dragged him to the ring. And he's in the real ring on his knees begging. He's like, "No, you don't want this." The lights go out. Miz takes the powder out of the ring. The lights come back up. The Wyatts are in the ring. They get in the ring to confront the Final Testament. Miz comes up from behind with a chair. I forget who he smacks. He smacks one of them in the back with a chair. I think it was Uncle Howdy. I think he smacked Uncle Howdy with the chair,
Okay.
and then they just destroy the Final Testament. Destroys the Wyatts. They leave the ring, but of course Bray's crazy ass is just maniacally laughing.
You mean Howdy?
Howdy.
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
yes. But that was even Michael Turner said that was great. It was. I did not see that coming. Did you?
No.
No, he blasted Eric Rowan with a steel chair.
Gotcha.
Blah, 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 blah. Women's Tag Team Championship match. And I think was that the yeah, that was the main event. It
Yes.
was Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, and Raquel Rodriguez. I keep wanting to say Gonzalez. I forgot they changed her name to Rodriguez.
Now before you talk about this match, have you heard that there's backstage rumors that Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill do not get along backstage?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to keep an eye on this one because it seems really interesting to me that they've been pushing these two since WrestleMania as women's champions, and there's rumor that they don't like each other.
I wonder if that's a
Work?
worked rumor. Yeah.
I mean, it very well could be a work rumor, and I'm okay if it is a work rumor,
Hmm.
but like there's been nothing to show it. But it did come out through the Jonathan Coachman podcast.
Okay. All right. So that's Raw. You looked up NXT. I'm gonna look up SmackDown. So NXT's you.
So NXT, we've got Julia and Stephanie Vaquer versus Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, Ms. Jackson, and
If you're nasty,
what's up?
it's Jackson. If you're nasty, that was a Janet Jackson song.
I know what you mean. Julia and Stephanie Vaquer win that match. Sol Ruka ends up defeating Cora Jade to qualify for the women's Iron Survivor.
Okay.
What the hell?
I don't know.
WWE.com is not a good website to try to get results, apparently.
I was going to
That's
Bleacher.
the only two results that they showed. Let me go to Bleacher Report. Here we go.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to Bleacher.
So Wendy, no,
Make
that's
sure you got the
October
right date.
29th.
Yeah.
Hold on. 6 days ago. Here we go. All right. So all right. Julia and Stephanie Vicaire versus Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. Julia and Vicaire win. I thought it was a pretty solid match.
I muted myself telling Matthew bedtime. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I feel like we're starting to really see what the Julia and Stephanie Vicaire like tag team feels like. But at the end of the match, we got a little something from there when all of a sudden both of them kind of had the opportunity to jaw jack at each other just for a second because the Iron Survivor match is coming up and both of them are going to compete possibly against each other in it.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you feel?
There's too many because they're trying to put over her,
Who's her?
Julia. They're trying to
Okay.
put over Julia, Stephanie, and now Zarya, all as baby faces, right? So
Agreed.
one of them's got to turn. Is one of them, if any of them, have to turn heel?
Not yet. Not yet, because you already have the Mean Girls on the other side. You know? Like, because the Iron Survivor match is going to be, what, 5 competitors?
Yeah.
And Sol Ruka is in it now. Who I don't think really has a chance of winning it. But that's kind of where we're going. Let's see. So Cora Jade loses. And when Sol Ruka hit the Soul Snatcher, her finisher, that cutter off the top rope flip.
I love that.
She's gonna break somebody's neck.
I love it.
It is poetry in motion. That's what it is. That move. In fact, that's what I like calling it, the soul cutter.
The Soul Snatcher.
Soul Snatcher.
That's what it is. She snatched
yeah.
your soul.
So male Iron Survivor, Wesley versus Cedric Alexander. Wesley ends up qualifying. I think we're really starting to see this heel character of Wesley getting where he needs to be, you know, after losing to his tag team partner from TNA. Unfortunately, it's at the expense of Cedric Alexander, who is a seriously good wrestler.
I think they're prepping Wes for a eventually NXT championship title run.
Trick Williams announces the number 1 contender match between Andre Chase and Ridge Holland.
I'm not saying Wes is going to get it soon. I said they're preparing him.
Oh yeah. No, I think he's working his way up. I think he's like a diamond in the rough character because remember when the Rascals, or what were they, MXK in WWE, when they came in and all of a sudden the one got kicked out because of, you know, the sexual harassment stuff and sexual all the problems that he had, let's just put it that way.
And the Hitler thing he did, that picture, remember, that got him too.
Sure. He didn't do himself any favors. How about that?
Yeah.
But as it got worse and worse, I really didn't think Wesley was going to have much of a career. And Shawn Michaels saw something in the kid and made something out of him. And now, I mean, like, he's turned heel, and his heel turn, it could be career defining, right? Like, I don't think it has been yet, but I think it could be. But like I said, we then go on to Andre Chase versus Ridge Holland for the number one contender. And I'm trying to look to see. I can't remember who won that. Or they just announce it.
I think that match is this week.
Is there a bigger disappointment in NXT than Nikita Lyons right now?
I don't know what they're doing with her. I don't understand it.
Because Adriana Rizzo versus Nikita Lyons, and all I saw on all of the stuff this week was, are they still trying to push her when they're talking about Nikita Lyons? And she looks rough, dude. I mean, one, she's been in and out of injuries, right?
Mm-hmm.
Two, she looks like she's put on a lot of weight, and she was never skinny. But
was that? I mean, you got Naya, you got
hold
bigger
on,
women.
but hold on. And then when you actually look at her wrestle, she like Naya 3 years ago, she looks like she's hurting people. Like, and not hurting people storyline wise, but hurting people.
I hadn't heard of anybody actually being injured by her though.
Next matchup, we had Javon Evans versus Lexus King. Evans ends up winning to go into the Iron Survivor Challenge. Then we had the return match for the North American Women's Championship, Fallon Henley versus Kalani Jordan. And Henley beats her because of Fatal Influence.
You knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, but Bleacher Report gave the match an A-, saying that, you know, it was above what their anticipation for that match was going to be.
It was a good match.
I agree. It really was. And they gave and Bleacher Report did give that show a B+. So
I didn't B+.
I feel like since NXT has gone to the CW, they have been a B+ solid show on a weekly basis.
What were they? What would you say they were before they went to CW?
Maybe a B-, maybe a C+.
Really?
Typically, but since they've been on the CW, they have brought it every week.
So what do you think the difference is?
Couple things. I think that the first difference is going to be that there's more eyes on it. And they, anytime you move from network to network, you have to bring your A game, right? So I think that's part of it. I think that the I think that the women's United States, or not United States, but North American Championship has really been a positive spin on the broadcasts. I feel like they've done really well with that since they introduced it and launched it. I feel like their use of legends on the show since they've gone to CW has been really good. But I also think that CW's just broadcast, advertising, and everything else has brought more eyes to the product, which means the people that are working the shows know that they have to do more, and they've been doing it. Okay. You know, like it's weird because you look at. Did you hear about what Jon Moxley had to say recently about AEW? So I'm gonna change our banner real quick. I'm gonna put it back on Dynamite for a second. The Jon Moxley stuff. He basically came out this like in the past 2 weeks saying that there have been a lot of people that are like interviewers talking about undercard people and being like, nobody's gonna watch it anyway. so it doesn't matter. And he's been like, go work at TGI Fridays before they go out of business if that's what you're really thinking.
Oh shit.
You know, like, and that's why he's basically been given carte blanche on his storyline, because the people that want to work with him are really putting in the A+ efforts right now, right? But,
Damn, I didn't know
we
he said
really
that.
haven't seen an improvement in their ratings since they got that big money deal from TBS.
Yeah.
So he's basically saying that a culture shock needs to happen. And what I'm saying is that when NXT went to CW, Shawn Michaels and team brought that culture shock already. And that's why when they went Wednesday night, they invaded Wednesday night against AEW, NXT was able to pull off the victory. Where, every other time when it was AEW going up on a Tuesday night, it was always, oh, well, it's not their regular night. So it was just another excuse. Whereas NXT sat there and said, we'll walk into your night and we'll win. We're okay with that.
Yeah.
And they did.
All right, let's just
Let's
realized
move
what
on.
time it was. SmackDown. Where I put my phone.
I mean, we can talk about this. We can talk about Kevin Owens told not to come to SmackDown this week.
Yeah.
Pardon me, everybody. I was having a beverage.
Yes. I mean, he told not to come. So he'll be there next week.
Well, Cody Rhodes starts the show, comes out and says, Kevin Owens, I know you're in the back. Come on out here. And Nick Aldis is the one that comes out. And Nick Aldis sits there and says, I told Kevin Owens not to show up tonight. Cody Rhodes sits there and says, why would you do that, Nick? Can't you see that everyone's sitting there saying that this is my fault and I need to fix this? Randy Orton's in a hospital right now and it's my fault. Kevin Owens is saying it's my fault. I don't know why it's my fault, but they're saying it's my fault. It is my fault. Whatever, it's my fault. Okay. Then you get the video package. I love how they do it where it's literally like, it looks like it's Kevin Owens' cell phone from in his car sitting there. And he's like, I've been told not to show up. It's not my fault. I didn't do it. I'm not the reason why Randy Orton's in the hospital right now. It's Cody that's the reason why he's in the hospital right now. And all this other shit. And it's great. It is compelling television. Am I wrong?
Yeah. It is compelling.
And right now it looks like it is headed for Saturday night's main event. Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Which means we probably get a schmaz finish too. Because I don't know if you remember most of those old Saturday night's main events where it would be like Hogan versus Mr. Perfect and then they break the title or whatever. But it was always like a schmaz finish.
Yeah.
Like I hated it. But at the same time, it was like, what's next? So, all right. So that was number one thing that I wanted to talk about from SmackDown. Here's number two. You ready?
Okay. It's past an hour and a half. I'm getting tired. Yeah, we saw that coming. I told you that was coming.
But they didn't break up.
Not yet. Not yet. But they will.
Yeah, they're definitely on the path. Unfortunately, the downside is that I don't. Both Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa are premier wrestlers, right?
Mm.
Like in NXT, they showed that they went from being two guys that were just tag team specialists cruiserweight specialists to tag team specialists again to being the top guys in all of NXT, right? With everybody that you have on SmackDown, is there any possibility whatsoever that these two guys main event SmackDowns and pay-per-views or PLEs?
Either I think Ciampa, as good as Johnny is, I think Ciampa is. I don't even want to say the most because I think Ciampa would probably main event and get a world title before Johnny Gargano, and that's my opinion.
While I agree with you on what you just said, do I see with Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, hell, Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns being up there always at the top of the card on SmackDown? Do I ever see either of those guys winning the World Heavyweight title or
See,
the
and that's
or the
why I think,
Undisputed Championship?
and that's why I like the 3 hours because you can build on these guys because you're not going to have Orton doesn't have that much longer. Cody doesn't need it if you think about it. You know what I'm saying? Cody said he wants to retire here. That's probably the next few years. You know what I'm saying? They need to start building for when these guys leave. And I think, I mean, Ciampa's not exactly
But
spring chicken
Ciampa
either.
and Johnny aren't
Yeah,
spring chickens. They're the same age as Cody.
yeah. So they need to start preparing.
For the journeyman. You're right. That there are certain people that, but isn't it crazy to know what these two were capable of? And my personal feelings on this, and this isn't because I have insider knowledge on anything. My personal my personal feelings on this are pretty simple. I feel like Triple H thinks he can do the same thing that Kevin and Sammy have done their entire careers
Mm,
with Johnny and Ciampa. And I feel like he feels like he can do that, but it really does take people stepping aside and getting out of the way.
hmm
And they are that good of professional wrestlers. They can main event those shows. We've seen it. They
hmm
how many takeovers did they main event, right? Like Johnny Gargano, I think still holds the record for most takeover most NXT PLEs in the
Was and I think Johnny and Ciampa were there. Yeah, well, Triple H was there. So I mean, you would think they would be Triple H guys.
they are Triple H guys. 100% they are. I mean, that's why Johnny came back, because otherwise Johnny would have been in AEW. Like
Mm,
the fact that Ciampa didn't get released is pretty surprising under the Vince McMahon era, because he's not a Vince McMahon guy. There's nothing about him that makes you go, I see something in him. You know, like we're gonna put him with the Miz and we're gonna make him the backup guy to the Miz. Well,
yeah.
that's not a winning combination. Fucking Alex Riley, right?
Ms. Dow.
Ms. Dow, like our truth. I mean, like, think about all these guys that like their careers didn't go anywhere after they got paired with the Miz. But
Yeah.
my point is that like I know that Triple H believes in them. I mean, hell, that's why Johnny Gargano was like the first guy that when Triple H was back in charge and they were in fucking Toronto, Johnny Gargano comes out, you know, with his old music before they changed his music again, because why the fuck would they do that? But anyways, I just don't see either of them being top guys. And I see them going after maybe LA Knight's US championship. And I don't like that. Because they are capable of doing it. They are some of the premier wrestlers in the world. But you got Roman Reigns at the top of the card. Who are you going to give the title to?
Yeah, he needs to step aside too.
I I think that I think he's doing a great job of not being in the title picture. But at the same time, we were upset that he wasn't here for 6 months, and now he's been here every week for like the last 2 months. So I applaud it because he's here. He's just not doing shit. He's just here though.
Getting his ass beat.
Yeah, yes, he is. I loved, I, I loved the meme I saw about this. You know, because I'm pull up the OG Bloodline stuff.
Yeah.
I saw a meme after you saw Roman Reigns get his ass beat and the OG Bloodline get their asses beat, and it said when your friend is telling you it's time to call the Uber. It just
That's fucked up.
it shit tripped me out. I was like, yeah, you know, like it's like no, I just want more. No, it's time to call make the call. Make the call.
And then he called the wise man, and the line was disconnected.
Now, did you see the so I saw a Twitter feed for this, and it said this is long-term storytelling because Solo broke Paul Heyman's phone in his last appearance. He took the phone, he threw it down on the ground, stepped on it, so he doesn't have the same number anymore. That's
Wow.
and if that's the
Uh,
case, I'm okay with it. There's also a rumor that the wise man's going to show back up and he's going to be with The Rock. So how do you feel about all this?
the Rock. I thought maybe one of the cousins was going to come to be the fifth member until they had Bronson Reed join, which means now it's got to be Seth.
Seth makes the most sense, and this is what I talked about last week. I said Bronson Reed and Seth, that makes the most sense, right? And we had to build it to there to get it there, but yeah, it makes the most sense. And obviously, we're not watching tonight's show; it's about to be over. But yeah, it Seth makes the most sense. It's family on both sides. The only other thing that I could think is that what if Roman actually sat there and made a call to The Rock, and The Rock said, "Sure, I'll be there," and then The Rock turns on it.
Yeah,
And
but
for
how does
storytelling
how does how
purposes,
does Bronson make sense for the new bloodline? He's not Samoan. It's just kind of like he just threw him in there so they can have Seth on Roman's team. You know what I mean? It makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. You see what I'm saying?
he doesn't not fit though.
Like Seth, I get because him and Roman, the Shield, and blah 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 blah. But Bronson and the new bloodline, I don't get it.
I mean, why would the new bloodline keep to the old rules? That they can branch out. You know, heck,
Sure.
let's go to Australia for a guy that literally looks like every other Samoan that we've ever brought in.
Mhm.
Because again, like you and I talked about last week, we can't assume that they're going to sit there and try to bring in these two new Samoans and then have us believe that these Samoans deserve to be in the same ring with all these other guys, right? At least with Bronson Reed, they built him up to where, like, yeah, okay, that Solo Sikoa sits there and goes, yeah, I paid him. Fuck it. And now Seth goes, you don't need to pay me because I want to take down Bronson Reed. Okay. I'm cool with that too. Although that would have been better if Bronson Reed beat Seth Rollins at the last pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So that's my feelings on it. Yeah. So that's all I got. What you got?
Me too. That's it. We're at the just about 2 hour mark, dude.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
All right. Well, why don't you tell everybody how to do all
You
that
fo-
other stuff, especially since you are no longer on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm no longer on Twitter. I gotta figure out my Blue Sky handle. Is that Blue Sky? It's Tino G, whatever it is. Blue Sky at Tino G.
BSKY.
Yeah. So I'm in Blue Sky. You can also find me on Instagram, SC Tino. I'm on TikTok, Tino Gray Music. You can find the show, I guess, still on Twitter, Potsy and Tino, Facebook. We're the Potsy and Tino Show. We're here each and every week right here on YouTube on the Pots and Pan Network. Please give us that thumbs up, like, subscribe, buy our shit. We want to say thanks to Adam's House Cat for the wrestling song. You can get it for the low, low price of 99 cents, 99 Jones
Nana
on
Jones.
on Apple, iTunes, the same thing.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Your turn.
Shoo! Rob Potsy Pochak on TikTok, Blue Sky. There's another one, Instagram.
Are you still on? Are you still on Twitter?
I am still at Pochak on Twitter, although I started posting on Blue Sky more often. Obviously here on YouTube at Rob Pochak, and then my Instagram Twitch is also Rob Potsy Pochak, and then of course Instagram is Rob Pochak or Rob Potsy Pochak. So that's how you can reach me, folks. We had a blast.
We did, but I'm going to bed.
I'm gonna go watch Superman and Lois.
I'll watch it tomorrow, maybe.
I'm gonna be very upset if my TiVo didn't record it this week, because it didn't record last week.
And no spoilers, biatch.
And I had to watch the CW app to watch it, and they repeat the same commercial like 18 times, and it is annoying as shit. So, folks, with that, thank you so much. I'm trying to find what our outro is going to be tonight.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Yep. It's probably just going to be this one. But thank you so much. We'll be here next week. Obviously, Tino's going out of town after that, but we'll be here next week for the show. We'll be here hopefully the week after that as well. And with that said, we're out of here. Deuces.